All right. Trap Talk Reptile Network, the coolest reptile network in the world. We are live and direct at the Daytona NARBE at the Rice Family Reptiles booth, Daytona 2024. I do want to say, first and foremost, this remote podcast was brought to you by Canova Reptiles. Shout out to Justin, Summer, Chase, the entire Canova family for supporting this amazing in-person podcast. And we're starting things off in style with the one and only Channing of Reptico.
I'm Channing, and this is my family business, is Reptiles, but mom and dad do that, and we do it as a family, and I have just recently launched Reptico. It's my own separate company. It's on Instagram. It's official Reptico, but on Morph Market is Reptico just by itself, and the logo of it is not, we're not sure if we're going to keep that one. It's still, we're still working on that. And it's just my own. I have hognose and crested geckos right now.
Wait, so what's wrong with the logo you have now? Because I like the logo you have now.
I like it too, but we're just not sure if we're going to keep that right now.
Okay. So let me ask you, the name Reptico, who started that name? Where'd that name come from? Let's talk about it.
We were thinking like Reptiles, and it's a company. So
right.
Reptiles.
And it's more than one reptile.
Company.
Right. It's not like it's just ball pythons now.
Yeah,
you got
like
other
I didn't
stuff.
have to want like anything to have like just like hognose or crested geckos basic, because I want to have more than that, honestly. So
right.
I want to have different stuff. So just Reptico, because it doesn't define one animal.
So why don't you tell people how old you are?
I'm 14.
14 years old. You're in the prime teenage years as far as almost being a kid still, but you're choosing to run a business. So
yeah.
like, what motivated you to do stuff that not the normal 14-year-old's doing right now?
Well, it's just I can't like picture myself going and like, honestly, like my dad, like he's always like had his own like logging crews and stuff, and then
nice.
me and him, like I've always loved like reptiles. I've never been scared of snakes, nothing. It's just I've always come natural to me to like stuff like this. So I've always just like I can't like imagine myself doing something else.
Yeah, but you're into athletics, right? Like you do stuff in high school as far as sports.
Yeah.
So you're a busy girl. So
I am.
How are you having time to show dedication towards whatever you're doing in high school, plus taking care of all the animals? Because I've talked to your dad, and I heard you have a lot of geckos, dude.
Yes.
Like I heard you have a lot. So
it actually, we have every day there is something, and I do have school. But as soon as school's over, I come home Monday, see about your hogs. Next day, see about your hogs. Like it's just we have a certain day, we have it scheduled. So like Wednesdays, I come home, we feed and clean the ball pythons, and we do the geckos. And then like the next day, I clean them. And it's just certain days you have to do it.
I mean, no choice, right? Because they're living animals, right?
Yeah, like right after practice, to go to school, go to practice, come home, work.
And you feel like that's what kind of drives you, is because you have living things that rely on you, and you just can't go home and just sleep in or just not do the work, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Channing. Like, we're at Daytona. Daytona is one of the biggest reptile shows in the country. What do you think of the vibe? Like, how are you feeling so far being at such an iconic show with your parents? You guys have some of the nicest ball pythons that are produced here at the show right now.
Yeah,
so what's that feel like?
It feels really good. It's like really inspiring to have everyone come to you and tell you how much they love your animals, and it's just like you love the feeling of like talking to people. It's
right.
like I love that. And
yeah, because this is
it's really fun.
You've been to shows. Like I remember meeting you at NARBC. Was it Tinley that I met you at?
Yeah.
And then you also go to the Texas shows.
Yeah, we also go to Dallas, and we go to Tampa, here, Daytona. We go to Schaumburg.
Right. So you would definitely agree, like this whole vending thing's a lifestyle, huh? Like it's
yes.
like its own it's its own community. You see certain people that you see at the show before. So like, do you feel like you guys are kind of grown into the reptile family now?
Yes, I do feel that way. Yeah. So yes, we're very close with a lot of people now.
Yeah. So give us some goals. Like what do you want to do in 5 years, Channing? Like let's just say obviously you got high school, right? Let's say you graduate high school, your productions are through the roof, better than you ever thought. What do you want to do? Like what's your game plan?
I'd be in college, so I would want to be able to do. I kind of want to do college online, so I can run this with my family
right.
and my own separate business. And I like to do all that together.
Okay.
And I have an autistic brother, so I would want to be able to take care of him too while I'm doing all this. So it's just like I want to be able to be here for all this.
Right.
And I would love to have phenomenal hognose facility and crested geckos, and just have really high quality of everything, and just for everything to be working. Peyton,
shout out to Peyton.
He's 19, yeah.
19 years old?
19, I'm 14. So
14,
yeah,
okay.
5 or 6 year age gap.
How's Peyton think of the snakes? Like, what is he rather not, or does he like them?
He don't really pick up on that. He loves his iPad and like riding. He loves that.
Yeah.
Like riding the Ranger and stuff. That he loves that.
What would you want to go to school for? Like college? Like, what would you like to like study college for? Like, what would be like something you're inspired to learn?
See, we were gonna do like genetics. Like we're gonna go in there for
like biology
all that.
And stuff. Yeah.
But honestly, I would rather do business. For me, it's just like it's more of a common thing. But at the same time, if I'm gonna do this, it'd be just a good thing to go to college for.
Yeah, you know what? That's so smart because listen, working with animals as close as you're working now, you almost learn stuff more than even scientists could learn because how much you're paying attention to that specific species, right? But a lot of failures in the reptile world come with people who don't know how to run a business.
Yeah.
Okay. Knowing how to run a business is everything. So I think that's probably one of the smartest moves for you to go to school to learn how to actually run the business, because all this stuff you're going to learn as far as like the genetics, the morphs, skin shed testing, shout out to RGI. I'm just telling you, like, you're already going to get a lot of the scientific stuff down. Knowing how to run a business, that's where people fail. Yeah.
To run a business, you have to you cannot do it just for money.
No.
That's what people fail at. You're like, you don't make money, you cannot keep going. Like, we're not doing money. Like, say you start a baking company or anything. It's not making money. How are we going to survive? And then just give up. You cannot do that. You have to love the animals. Like, if something fails, you just have to keep going with it. You have to love it.
Speaking of loving it, what if there was another 14-year-old boy or girl out there who's listening to you and they're like, you know what? I want to do reptiles, but like my parents hate them. Like, what's your advice for anyone out there who's a kid, really wants a reptile, but their parents just aren't down with it? Like, what would be an angle to try to, like, I don't know. What do you think?
I would say if your parents are not okay with you keep the animal, I would still have that passion. Because once you only got a couple more years. Once you go and you can get your own job, do whatever.
Right.
Just if you want to start out with one thing, later on it can build up into something that you could have never imagined having at that young age, but you can have it later on. I would say still keep the passion for it.
Yep. And I think other than passion, I think being grateful for a lot of things is important.
Yes, very grateful. We're very grateful for all the people who come and talk to us and appreciate all our animals. We appreciate how hard everything is. Like, it's been very hard, but it's worth it. It's really worth it. And we're grateful to have everything.
All right. I'm going to put you on the spotlight. What's one thing you're very grateful for your mom about?
She's very supportive. I'm really grateful for her support. She's always there for me.
And what about your dad?
4 hours later.
There's so much. One word. He's taught me how to be very hardworking, honestly.
Right.
And that's really hard to have.
I mean, that's the vibe
I get.
That's the vibe I get from your dad. Like, your dad looks
He's very hardworking, yes.
But he almost expects that out of you too.
He does. My dad, it's a lot of tough love from daddy.
Right.
But I mean, honestly, that's what dads are for.
Dads are for.
I mean, life's not gonna. I mean, if dad was so soft on me, he cannot just throw me out into the world, because the world's not like that.
Yeah.
So it's just like teaching you how the world is.
Well, I'm sure both your
just
parents
preparing me. Yeah.
I'm sure both your parents are very proud, and I gotta say, because how cool of a girl I think you are, I'm looking forward to having daughters someday. Like, I'm saying, like, being a guy, wanting your first kid, which I have my son now, it's awesome. But man, girls are so cool nowadays, man. Like, look at you. Look what you're doing in the reptile game. Look what your mom's doing. And I just feel like the reptile world definitely needs a lot more impactful female keepers. You know, and you're like literally the future of this. So it's cool to see such a young girl doing her thing in the reptile world, but literally like taking it a step further as a business, and you just don't see that a lot. So
yeah, I really want to grow and get more young people into it, not just girls, but also like anybody. Just to come into it so we can keep the community growing.
Yep, it's all about community growth.
Yes.
So speaking of growth, for anyone out there is wondering, how can we follow you? Like, where do we see all Channy's work? Why don't you drop all the plugs right now where people could contact you, see your work, and all that good stuff?
So right now it's on Instagram, officialreptico.com, and then whenever you go to Morph Market, you can also get us at just Reptico.
And I'm going to put those links in the description below. Please go show the support, all right? This is one of Rice family's finest doing it in the business right now, so give it up for Channy. Thank you so much, and go get your mom now. Now I got to talk to Dawn. That is Channy. Now we have the great and powerful Dawn. Hi, Dawn. You hear me, don't you? Just kidding. Have a seat. And we have Mrs. Rice in the building. And listen, you've been on Trap Talk before, but we are live and direct in person at Daytona. How does it feel to have some of the nicest ball pythons at Daytona?
I'm super excited. We've worked really hard to get here. I mean, this has taken so much dedication, like behind the scenes.
Right.
I told Billy, I was like, if people only saw what we do behind the scenes, they would have just a whole new perspective of our family, our
Right.
company, everything.
Yeah, and I would say the hardest thing about what you guys are doing is staying consistent. And I got to say, ever since I saw the Rice Reptiles being set up, like you guys have not missed a beat. Obviously, your scale has raised up. This is the most snakes I've ever seen at any of your guys' booths. So how's it feel to have this many snakes? Like, do you have any pressure at all? Or like, what are the feelings right now having, like I said, these aren't your average snakes. These are powerful investment snakes, but you also have stuff that are entry level as well. But a lot of animals. What do you think about all the animals that you have displayed today?
Our family, we started out with 2 ball pythons.
Yeah.
So to go from 2 ball pythons to, our facility, which is not in square footage a large facility.
Okay.
We just have really high end animals in that facility.
On your property, or is it separate?
Yes. So it's separate from our home, but it's on our property.
Awesome.
And so we're definitely a company that focuses more on quality over quantity. So we want the high end, not as many animals, but like the highest end animals we can produce.
Well, like I said, when I first saw you guys vending, you didn't have a lot of animals, but the animals you had on there were still some of the best animals in the show. And I think that was the thing about you guys. You started off not aggressively, but with high impactful investment snakes that grew into this. Now, it was about 2-3 years ago, I think, I was talking to Billy about when you guys, converted into Rice Reptiles, right? That was about 2 years ago.
So we've been doing this for about 8 years.
Right.
And we were branding ourselves, but really we were really marketing ourselves to the public, slowly over time.
Right.
And we were doing fairly well. I mean, actually pretty well on our own.
Mm-hmm.
But then Justin, we were buying so many snakes from Justin. And when Billy approached Justin one day and was like, hey, I can help fill the void because I know you can't produce enough. Like there was such a demand that, there was someone who needed to fill that void. And Billy's like, I'm your guy. I can fill that void. And so that's kind of how that partnership developed.
Right.
We really never planned to have a partner. And Justin probably never planned to have a
partner. Do you have any people out there who would die to plan such a partnership, but the stars just aligned the way they did?
And honestly, I mean, we couldn't thank Justin enough because he's just turned out to be, well,
Yeah.
If you know Justin, Justin's just a great guy.
Yeah. I mean,
and his family is a wonderful family.
Very inspiring.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they hold a very high standard, not only in the ball python industry, but just in life.
Yeah. Their family morals, the way Joy educates their kids, like it's next level. It's very inspiring.
Next level. And I'm a teacher.
Right.
So I have a whole new perspective for Joy because Joy's awesome. She's not joking around. Like they're really having school and they're doing it,
straight to business.
They are business. When they're doing school, they're working hard. Yeah. And so, I can relate to Joy in that way.
Yeah. And one of the cool things about Justin is like there's people out there, like I said, who would die to have a close relationship. And he's a nice guy, but he's so busy and he has a lot going on. And if you're able to somehow cross paths with him where you guys could share ideas and it works out, look what it could lead to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's also like, it has to be like, I talked to Justin about this, about, how he was partnering up with you guys in a sense. And he just told me how great he felt about you guys as a family and as people. And I think that's what it's all about. When you have somebody that you feel good about, you open your world to them. You know what I mean?
And they did. They came and visit with us and got to know us on a personal level, not just a business level, because we had been on a business level for years.
Right.
And then after that, it was more of a personal level. And then we spent time with their family. And I think Justin just saw us as, having very similar, ethics and morals and beliefs. And so that's kind of where it led from. I think that's where you have to start. You don't go into a partnership without feeling like you can trust somebody. You can, if something happens, you can just really hand the reins over to them in a way.
Yeah.
If you need something done, they're there for you.
Right.
I mean, if like Justin needs something, we're there for him no matter what. If we need something, Justin's there for us. So it's been a great experience.
Let me ask you a pretty tough question, because one thing I'm happy about the Rice Reptile family is that no matter what the market is, you guys are here and you're here strong. And it's unfortunate, but some people weren't as lucky. And I don't know what that could be, but there aren't people who are still standing in this business, you know. And I'm talking about people who just recently came in during COVID. But you guys are, in a sense, even though you have 8 years, you're still kind of new with Rice Family, right?
That's right.
But how do you feel about the market? Have you and Billy chatted about like how certain prices are going up, going down? What have you guys had to talk about, like market changes with a lot of projects like DG? Like, what kind of like collaborating minds are you guys doing when it comes to the market talk?
So we have seen market change just like everyone else.
Right.
And we've had to adjust ourselves as well. Like we could not be at a point to where, you know, we were the highest snakes on the market. That just wasn't the right thing to do. We didn't want to be the lowest snakes on the market either.
Right.
You know, we felt like the quality of our snakes would speak for itself. So we stayed firm and as close to what we thought was fair, but not dropping our prices too low.
Right.
And if it didn't sell and it was a high-end snake, we didn't stress over it. We just kept it and continued to breed and produce the best snakes we could produce during this tough time.
Right.
So, you know, I think it has paid off in the long run because what's happened and we've noticed is our sales have not dropped. They've actually went up. And so now there was a drop.
Right.
I think there was a drop, you know, about 6 months ago that was really tough for everybody. But the last 6 months, we've seen a steady increase of sales, and we're producing better animals as well.
But stuff that people don't have in their collection either.
That's where Justin's come into play to help us. Because when Justin came in as our partner, he, you know, is a 50-50 partner. Like we're true partners,
True
you know.
partners, right.
And so he came in and he gave us snakes as his partnership buy-in.
Right.
And that allowed us to have genetics that we didn't have before. Would have taken us just decades to catch up.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, to be where you're at, in a sense, I mean, look how long it took Justin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's one of the longest standing, most respected professional ball python players in the game. I mean, I don't know where this hobby would be without Justin. I'm sure it would be somebody doing it, but as someone as presentable and clean cut and just smart like Justin, I think we're in the good hands, you know, as a ball python community.
Yes, we're led by some of the best for sure, and we hope to be right up there with him. I mean,
I think you're. I mean, you're not far off as far as what's being displayed, and obviously it's because you guys work so close with him, and he helped you get to this point. But your projects, I'm telling you, man, and that shredder. What do you think of the shredder?
That's my favorite snake on the table, right?
Wow.
So if it proves out to have spot nose in it, you know, if we do a shed test, then we have produced a fire Pompeii shredder.
Wow.
And we've got, let's see, 2 fire Pompeis on the table and a regular Pompeii, and all of those snakes came out of the same clutch.
So other than shredder, what's another, you know, gene that you and Billy and Channing kind of just go back and forth about, or something that's very exciting for you guys to be working with in the future? Other than shredder, is there any other new gene out there?
So it's not a new gene, but it's one we're very passionate about as a family, and it's lace.
Oh yeah, white lace.
It's number one on our list because what other gene can you buy that makes it better as it gets older? It's hard to beat lace.
And the beauty about pre-recording is I'm going to drop a video clip of their white lace clown that they have here. It is so impressive.
We have one at home. We only brought one.
Right.
But
okay, which one's better? That one or the one at home? The one at home is better, isn't it?
Probably.
Oh.
But we're going to keep them for now. But we will be producing white lace and selling them.
Wow.
We definitely will. We've got some in the incubator now.
So just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, one of the wrap-up topics I have is, I'm sure people are wondering, like, what's Don's position? What's Billy's position? Like, who does what? Because this is a lot. Like, you got people who do the grunt work as far as, like, you know, taking care of the snakes, maintenance. And then you have people who are doing, like, the homework, like the studying the morph, studying the market. Where do you fit in? Where does Billy fit in? And where does even Channing fit in?
Okay, so Billy is the brains behind it.
All right.
And I'm going to give him full credit.
All right, shout out to Billy for that.
When we're talking about genetics, Billy's the guy.
Right.
And then he is trying to teach those genetics to Channing and I, which is a little daunting task because there's so many different combinations that can be produced. It's hard to ID snakes for us still, when there's so many different variables in there, you know, because we're not at a level to where we've got 2 genes in the snake. We've got 5, 6 genes in the snake sometimes, and it gets a little hairy.
Right.
But he's the brains behind what's going to be paired, what he can envision that would work and look good together.
Right.
He does all the pairing. Justin lets him have full reins of whatever you want to pair, you pair.
Yeah.
Those are your ideas.
And working with what you're working with, it could get dicey IDing things.
Yeah, definitely.
And when you can't ID things, I don't want to say it's a problem, but you got to know what you're looking at. Right?
And what helps is having Justin as our partner.
Yeah.
So then you've got two brains are better than one, and they come together, collaborate, and they go back and forth. And if we're not 100%, we're not calling it. So if you buy something from us, we guarantee our genetics. But then Channing comes into play. So Channing works a lot for a kid. I'm going to give her full credit.
Right.
She is a hard-working 14-year-old. And not only is she helping like Billy in the snake room, like with cleaning or partial cleans or honestly, whatever needs to be done at the time, breeding plan for the week or anything really to do with the snake facility. Right. Usually Channing is in there with Billy more than I am because, well, one reason is we have a son that's 19 and he's severely autistic. So it's better for me to be more in the house with him.
Right.
And the facility is not that far from our home.
Right.
It's just a steps away.
Right.
And then what I'm usually doing is I'm taking pictures of the snakes. I'm uploading the pictures. I'm getting the pictures on Morph Market. When you reach out on social media, I'm the one talking to you.
Which is it's a huge part of the legwork. Like that office work is no joke. It's tedious. Like when you got that and snakes to clean and all that, it gets way too much.
And I'm taking payment. I'm keeping up with what you owe or what you have left to pay.
Right.
If you're on a payment plan, I'm shipping out the snakes.
Right.
So that's more of my job.
Right.
So it takes every single one of us doing everything we do to make this happen. And we're both working full time.
Right. Wow.
And
amazing.
And I will add this, going back to your question about how have we survived during this tough time.
Right, right.
When there were no sales hardly and things had slowed down to where it was just a turtle pace for a little bit, we've never lived out of this.
Right.
We haven't, and it's hard to believe, but we haven't taken profits out of this company. Everything we've made, we put back in this company.
Which shows why you're at where you're at.
Right. And so we're still living the same way we lived before, the same home, everything's the same income that we lived on before we ever started Reptile.
So I have to ask you then, like, since you are really looking at the number side of things, why is it you think that somebody comes in, buys high-end stuff, ends up not making it in 2-3 years? Like, what do you think the problem is?
Well, when you think about it just from a number side, right, then you're going to make a certain amount of money. But if you're coming in right now, it's a great time to come in money-wise.
Right.
Because, like, if we had bought now versus when we bought years ago, we would get 3 or 4 times the amount of snakes for the price.
Right.
But at the same time, you're not going to sell those snakes for a high price as you used to sell them for.
Right.
Also, and the economy is going to, shift up and down. I don't have any doubt at all that the economy is going to go back up. Things are going to fluctuate, and we got to be prepared as a family and as an industry to be there for the longevity of everything.
It makes so much sense. Any advice out there for any struggling ball python breeder, or maybe somebody who's like, is this meant for me? I don't know what I'm doing. Anyone who's questioning what they're doing in the ball python game, but love it. What's your advice for them?
Yeah. If you love it, then you just got to keep the good fight.
Right.
Like during the tough times, you got to keep working hard.
Right.
And, there's times when we feel like we just can't go anymore and we just got to keep pushing.
Right.
And if you love it enough, you will keep it going. You will make it successful. I mean, you're going to make it successful if you want it to be successful. And that's just the way our family has always been geared. Like, if we want it to work, we're going to make it work.
And you being such a grounded mom with your family, just like in anything, there's ups and downs no matter what you're doing.
That's
right.
So
even if you leave the reptile world, life is still going to give you ups and downs.
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
So, and that's just kind of the name of the game. But you would agree there's no better place in the reptile world, right? Like, how awesome is this community? I was talking to Channy about vending and how you guys are grounded in vending now, but it's like a lifestyle, right? And don't you recommend people getting out to a show like this if they're new?
I think it's amazing. We're from South Georgia.
Right.
We're from a small town people have never heard of, right? And so, I mean, we have a lot of friends, where we live.
Right.
But we've been able to just encounter and be around so many people worldwide now. Other countries, it's just crazy. Had I seen ourselves here 20 years ago, and having the friendships and the connections we've made worldwide, I would have never imagined.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. And again, thank you for sitting down with me, Don. I appreciate it. I'm wishing you big luck this weekend. Hope you guys do great. But guys, please give it up for Dawn, the first lady of the Rice Reptiles family. Thank you so much, Dawn.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You did great. Oh, you act like you're not good at this.
I truly cannot hear it.
Oh, you weren't lying to me?
This is my good ear.
Okay, so it worked out.
No, it's been like this for like 3 months. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I was not able to listen how to go with Channing.
Channing was great.
Really?
Yeah, and Dawn killed it. Right. Yeah. It's like they practiced for this or something. It was great. All right, here you go, Billy. So all right, guys, we got the man of the hour, Billy Rice, the brains of the outfit, according to Dawn. Like, you're the muscle, you're the brains. How do you feel about your daughter and your wife calling you the head honcho of Rice Reptiles?
I'm proud that they're proud of what I've accomplished, but I couldn't do any of it without them. There's no way that I accomplished the things that I do in the reptile industry or outside the reptile industry without both of them.
I get such a great team family vibe from you guys. And I got that from the beginning, even when, like I said, a couple years ago, seeing you guys set up for the first time, I'm like, what an awesome family. You guys were all there, presentable, and like I said, everything is elevated since the first time I've seen you guys. And then I got to ask you too, Billy, because I asked your wife, like, you guys didn't start off with a bunch of stuff on your tables, but whatever you had on your table was some of the nicest quality stuff that is out there, right? So now look, you have the most snakes you've ever had at any show. How does it feel to have this many amazing ball pythons, but like this much product at a table? It's like something like Daytona too.
Oh yeah, it's amazing how far we've come in just a few years' time.
Right.
Even though we've been in it, 10 years, since we really, 6 years ago decided to make this, our business that we really want to grow with.
Right.
And we've come so far. And you always feel like, we feel like next year and the next year after that, that's when our real investment females come along. So we feel like we're really proud of where we're at, but I'm always looking to the future. Like we're family owned, future focused.
Right.
So I'm always seeing that next step.
So what's your current feelings about the market? Obviously, since we spoke last, things have changed. And I don't think really changed for what you guys have. You guys have stuff that a lot of people don't have in their collection, which I feel like those are the ones doing the best in the game right now. But what's your overall feelings about the market? Obviously since COVID and all that stuff, let's hear your thoughts.
Well, with a tank of gas as high as it is, groceries as high as it is, let's face it, the people that can come buy the $150 to $300 animal,
right,
that, they're having a tough time buying their groceries and things like that.
Facts. Yes.
We're seeing our best year ever. No doubt about it. Our absolute best year ever. So I want people to feel encouraged by it because we already see the uptick. We feel like it's already coming back.
Okay.
We see like it's coming back from that. But until we get the economy straightened out a little bit and we get inflation and things under control, the lower end pet industry's got to make money for it all to trickle up to the top.
Right.
So, but I am very encouraged. You've seen the tables just been packed all day today.
Yep. It really has.
With great people here, customers, and I just feel like we're just a short time away from this being back where we were at.
And what's crazy is it all still feels like this is just the beginning too, right? Because of the newer stuff that you have displayed, it's like all brand new still. Like there's really no dull moment in what's happening right now.
Yeah, it's all the new stuff that's coming out. It's just adding to the industry. So many people have come in that's now with the bigger enclosures and bioactive and all that's bringing just another whole aspect to the industry to where, we're bringing in just customers right and left that are going to be future breeders, owners, and the industry's just growing exponentially across the board.
Now, for somebody like you, where you're at in the ball python game, when you hear somebody who's been around for 30 years say that the ball python game has ran its course, what do you have to say to that? Like when you hear something like that?
So in the time that we've been in it, I absolutely do not see that because we see all of our high-end animals are still our best sellers.
Right.
So I do not think it's ran its course. I think it's going to have a course like any other animal to where the lower-end animals there'll be more lower-end animals where through COVID and stuff there really weren't many lower-end animals because the prices were jacked up. But at the same time, anything that's beautiful is always going to sell at a high price.
Right.
And the scarcity and rarity of this animal and the amount of things that we can do with the animal is just it's there's no limit.
Right. And speaking of no limits, I mean, I'm very excited about the shredder gene. You know, you showed me an example, which I'm going to show a video clip of that right now. Check this out. But you have shredder possibly in a Pompeii, right? We're going to find out what the test results shows.
We're pretty sure it's not spot nose. So Justin looked at it. He doesn't think it's spot nose either. Okay. So we're pretty sure that's not spot nose. We can test that and find out. Right. And we may, but we did test and we know it's not hurricane. So
what are you doing with a gene like that? So the shredder gene is something that has so much potential. Are you collabing with Justin, like brain wise, to see where this should go next project wise? Is there a plan already in set for the shredder gene? Like let's kind of give us a little bit of info on that.
Yeah. So really with the shredder gene, we've just this year revealing the things that we like in it. Mm-hmm. So I haven't really collabed on Justin with it at all. Like I'm free to roam with anything that I'm doing in the collection. So I'm just kind of going wild with the things that I see in our collection, building, breeding and doing the things that I want. Right now, I'm wanting to get it into, several other clown project animals. Okay. I'll eventually put it in pied as well. But now that we know it's hurricane-like, so now we want to get it with hurricane and see if it's allelic. That's the next step for me, to see if it's allelic, and then also just to see what, being it has a super form as well. Hurricane has a super form. Right. Let's go into some of that area with some of our lace and special orange dream, some of our crazy enhancing genes. Let's see what we can come out with it.
Billy, you're a very positive, like warming guy. Like I wish you were my uncle. Like you give that vibe. But let's poke some fires here, okay?
Okay.
What is the gene you're just not really excited about?
Oh, not excited about.
Well, I mean, maybe it's just like you're okay with working with it. Like it's there, but you're like, I'd just rather maybe focus elsewhere.
All right. So we're gonna poke the fire here.
Yeah.
We're gonna poke the fire.
Yeah.
All right. I don't have a lot of sunset.
Message.
Oh, I knew it. Yes. Okay, but there's not that there's no potential, but okay, tell us the backstory of why you're less is more with sunset.
Okay, with me, it's any animal that's gonna bring customers to the table fast,
right,
is going to be eye-catching and eye-popping, and to have the longevity there way down the line. So like an animal, when it becomes the $500 animal, still people are crowding around the table wanting to buy that animal.
Right. So
I haven't seen the combos that excite me to that level. Right. And that's all it is. I haven't worked with it a lot. So right. So I don't know.
And you know what? And like I said, like the potential's there, but it just seems like it takes a little extra work to get that potential, where you have other stuff where it's not taking that much work.
Exactly.
And it's already giving you an idea where you want to take it and stuff like that. And like I said, I'm not saying there's no future for sunset, but you really got to love it. I guess you really got to have a true passion for it. And, but like when I see stuff like this, and here's the thing, it'd be nice to work with it all, but it's really impossible to have everything. Like you can, but like, how are you really honing down on a craft that you believe in when it's like, a million things? I think Justin's the best doing that, where he has almost everything, but that comes with experience. I mean, Justin's 30 plus years in the game. You know what I mean? So I feel like before you could even put so much on your plate, like work with what you truly love and like something you're excited about. And you just said what you said because you're just not that excited about sunset.
Yeah, that's all it is I'm not knocking anybody doing it or investing in it or building the project, and I haven't. So you're going to see us producing it and having some out there, but it's not something that we're experimenting and wait to see other people maybe make something that we want to work toward. That's kind of what we're doing.
So let's talk about volume. What's going to be the number you're shooting for clutches wise in 2025? Like, I mean, where are you at as far as how big you want to take production next year?
It's not about production with us, or we'd be holding back more females. Okay. It's always about quality over quantity. And so like this year, we're moving out at least 40 something females.
Wow.
So, and we have the males that we can really make nice stuff with, but we want to bring up the next level animals. So I would guess that with this year, we're going to go to 100, maybe 115.
I mean, those are still big numbers.
Big numbers for us, especially because last year we did 65. So we haven't been. We're not huge. It's all quality over quantity.
Yeah. 100%.
And but I feel like I want to maybe next year get to 150 with the young females that we have.
Man, that's impressive. But I feel like you have a system, like you said, like whatever that next year is, the female's not being used. you immediately find new homes for them. Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
It's like the cycle system. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
it's just the females that we feel like we've got better coming up. We want
Right.
to replace them. So yeah, we're growing because we have more holdbacks than we'll release every year of adult females.
Right.
So we'll replace those with more holdbacks. So I want to move up to 200 clutches so we can work. That's basically the volume in that is basically just to be able to work all the genetic projects that we want to work.
Right.
It's not to just mass produce the animal. We want to work high quality and add the number of recessives in there that we can.
So let's talk about skin shed testing. Shout out to RGI. You use RGI, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay. How effective has it been as far as turning in 66% pos hets? Like, has that been a game changer? This the skin shed testing.
It's absolutely game changing.
Right.
It's changed so much for us. It's made it. I mean, it reduces your holdbacks by so much to know what you have, and then it also boosts your sales to be able to test for someone that's looking for an animal and know that they got confidence in what you're selling.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, because time is everything, right? And so we're in a position where that time could be saved now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's where we're gonna see a fast forward in what can be made with this by exponentially, but then also how much cooler is that going to make everything to where, like these crazy combos. I mean, you see some of the animals that are being made this year. Every year we say, we're not even close to what this animal is capable of.
No, because we're not. This is so many stages to the next stage. Like, it's never ending in a sense. But then, I was talking to Chad Holker, shout out to Chad Holker, but we were talking about we are now in the era where we are making the older ball pythons look just as pretty as the babies. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it's about making them prettier with age, not the other way around, which, no offense, sunsets are ugly when they're old. Let's be real. But we're going against that now, right? So what's a genetic that you feel like has that best potential of aging well with the ball python? Like, what's the one?
Lace, hands down.
I was gonna say that.
Hands down.
But lace or white lace? Like, are you saying, because me, I love gravel because I love super gravel. So for me, anything I work with, it has to be super gravel. Are you saying everything has to be white lace, or do you feel like some stuff should just be lace?
I haven't seen enough white lace because I mean we're still in the new part of white lace.
That's crazy.
Combos.
That snake is crazy.
Yes, that white lace clown.
That's
and
crazy.
we think we have 2 more at home, so we're super excited. But white lace right now, definitely try to work toward that so that we can see it and everything. Right. But lace period's making everything better, and we're not seeing fading near as much fading in the contrast in that we see with some of our Desert Ghost lines. So we're working both lace and Desert Ghost, but we're also working it together because we like it together.
Yeah.
But right now, if anybody comes to my table and they ask me what would they invest in ball pythons first, I'd say lace ahead of monsoon, anything you work with, because we have all that. And I would say lace because everything you make with it, you're going to make better.
Yeah, 100%. Now, before I get to my wrap-up topic, I do want to say, shout out to Justin. Okay, shout out to Canova Reptiles, who wasn't here, but Justin was nice enough to sponsor this episode. And I asked Justin, you're not going to be at the booth. Like, what do you want me to do? He said, just go to the Rice Reptiles booth. And I was like, say less. But how does it feel to have that kind of support from Justin? You know what I mean? Like, Justin, like, he treats your booth like it's his, and I'm honored that
it is his.
Right, in a sense, right? It's your guys's. But the support is real, man, and it's genuine support. I look at Justin as a real friend, and and I know you do too.
He is,
so
absolutely.
Tell us that kind of feeling to have that kind of support from the man.
Not just from me, but for our industry to have someone that's that good of a person.
Yeah.
That he's got the family values that you
100%.
strive to have for your own family.
Yes.
And you got a kid now, MJ, and I'm proud for you, man.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what we're really proud of is just how Justin, like being partners with Justin like that. We would not have had another partner in the industry, not because we don't like working with people. We absolutely love that, but we weren't looking for that.
Right.
But to the chance to work with your mentor after I bought so many animals for so many years, we never turn that down, and it was just a no-brainer. But we couldn't have a better person like leading the reptile industry as far as I'm concerned. I
mean, because at the end of the day, just like anything else, there are some bad apples and good apples. And there have been people who've gotten opportunities in this reptile game by mentors and been completely disappointed. And
absolutely.
That's just not the case with Justin. Like, the future's so bright for Rice Reptiles. And like I said, from what I've seen over the last 2.5, 3 years, man, this is nothing. Like what we're going to see in the next 2-3 years is going to be even crazier.
Yeah, we're so excited about, like, our sub-adult rack right now has 75 females that are just hands down above what we have.
Wow.
And it's upgrading every year. So like we're super excited. We're blessed to have the people that's like you here, Justin, working with us. My family being able to do this with me. Like we're people are going to see us way more in the future online and pushing ourselves.
100%.
But people need to understand right now is like we're limited just by the other businesses and the other things we have going on in life.
Right.
But we're really gonna in the next few years be out there everywhere where people can really follow and see more of what we're doing.
I can't wait for it, man. And of course, I'm saving the best for last. No offense, Justin, but the green tree pythons. What is happening with your chondros, Billy? Are we still on that level, or what? Has that ship sailed? Is it going? Like where the chondros? What's going on?
So, nothing takes focus away from this. First and foremost, this is our business. Chondros are our love and passion.
Right.
So with me, that's just never going to be a business. It's always going to be something I'm passionate about.
Right.
We've got a great blue line male from
Bill Stiegel, the mare.
No, we got a blue line from Bill Stiegel, female.
Right.
So we got that great female, and then we also have I may add another one for Bill here when we go to Dallas. So, but then we have a blue line from House of Blue.
Oh, Garrick.
Garrick.
GG, my boy Garrick.
And this guy's really blue. It's a nice male.
I mean, it's House of Blue. Like,
absolutely.
The name speaks for itself.
It does.
And I gotta say, Garrick has the best blue lines out there, and he knows it. So shout out to Garrick, and shout out for you for having good taste. Obviously, we all know you have good taste. The Rice family has good taste. But what would be your advice out there, Billy? Anyone out there who, let's just say they have ball pythons down, right? But they want to get into another species. Maybe not even as a business, but like how can someone focus on something that's a passion that doesn't take away from the business? Like, how are you balancing that out?
A passion?
Like, how are you like so for instance, like, you have this as the bread and butter, right?
Yeah.
But how do you add something that's a passion that doesn't affect your mindset on the business?
Oh, well, it's with me, that's very cool. Like, I'm doing it through my daughter. So yep. I'm following other reptiles and things through my daughter. And right. So that's something that I'm passionate about, is one, instilling in her work ethic, and with animals, with a children, it's very important to make your kids responsible, and the animals are the ultimate responsibility, just like our kids are. 100%. So that's one way I've done it. So if you're going to spin off, I would say have your business up and rolling, and then if you want to have hobby animals, don't do so much of that it affects the outcome of what you want to do with your business.
Right.
You can't do so much hobby stuff that if you really want to be at elite level in a business, that you're distracted.
And it seems like everything you guys done, you've grown into it. You didn't jump into it. Like,
no,
everything was a steady growth, and you let it grow on itself. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the best thing. You got to focus, hone down on one thing, and once that's running, then you could maybe think of something else.
Yeah, and that's what people coming into the industry need to see. Like, a lot of people know us now because of the Canova partnership and working with Justin, but this was 10 years in the making. So like the things you're seeing here, the Canova partnership's about 3 years old now. So this is 3 years. I mean, this is 10 years of work in the making before that Canova partnership. So like that was just a friendship with Justin that come about. And, people should take us becoming partners with Canova as inspiration, because we were the people that, I started my first business with $15,000 and at 19 years old, no money whatsoever. My wife and I driving around dating in a old Ford truck that you could literally see the road go by through the floorboard, rusted floorboard, no lie. So people should take everything that we've done in this as inspiration, because all we are is just a hardworking family that I work 70 hours a week before I hit my reptiles. Yeah. So we're just a hardworking family that want to grow a reptile business and wanted to work with animals, but we're allergic to all other animals. So anything with fur, we're allergic to. So bingo, reptiles.
It is, right? And it's something you enjoy, it's something you love. And I feel like you guys have you guys have what it takes. I mean, like I said, the stars align for that partnership with Justin, and you are doing big things, man. And I'm excited to sit here and talk to you guys. Excited for the next one, you know, because like I said, these are a force to be reckoned with. You are not going to not see these guys at the big shows, okay? So I appreciate your time. Thank you for letting me hang out here with you guys.
We appreciate you coming.
Yeah, man, of course. I'll be here for the next one, and have a big weekend. Where can people follow you guys at? For anyone out there who wants to be on top of all the Rice family productions, go and drop your plugs and where people can follow you at.
So we're Rice Reptiles, and then our Instagram, because we couldn't get Rice Reptiles, is Rice Family Reptiles.
Got it.
Then Channing is Reptico.
Yes.
Official Reptico on IG. So then also we have ricereptiles.com that you can follow us on, and on Facebook. ricereptiles.com is down right now.
Okay.
We're having some revamp, so that's down. So you'll see our Morph Market pull up there. Follow us on Morph Market, and we're reachable. You get my business card or get my number off Morph Market and give me a call.
There it is, from the man himself, Billy. Thank you so much, Billy.
Thank you.
It's
we
a wrap
appreciate
for
you.
Billy at the Rice Reptiles family. I appreciate you guys so much. All
Thank
right,
you, buddy.
Peace up. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. That was great. Thank you.
Like Rush Limbaugh has his golden EIB microphone.
Yeah.
So we're coming to you live behind, recorded, but behind the crisp, clean Trap Talk microphone. You need to this needs to be part of the show.
Yeah, I mean, what's funny is I normally have stands, but because the seats are high, the stands, it just wouldn't work. But I've seen other podcasters just use this as a mic, so it worked out.
That's cool. I like it.
Yeah.